Today we're going to be slashing it up with a One Piece deck profile on One Piece's greatest swordsman, Dracule Mihawk. Just in case you didn't see it. We're going to be going over card choices as well as my deck lists on how I would approach this. I know there's different variants, but I wanted to show you something that I've been kind of cooking since I'm kind of still learning this deck. I hope you guys like this video. Stay tuned, and I'll catch you guys later. So before we begin with this deck profile, I just want to say, wow, 900 subscribers. I'm 100 way to before I reach 1,000. So I want to thank you guys for those who have subscribed recently and those who stayed subscribed. I will be doing more videos in the near future, and I want to do a 1,000 subscriber special. So hopefully, or something special for 1,000 subs. So we're gonna before we even do that, I just want to mention, if you haven't checked out my previous videos, whether it be the previous One Piece deck profile or my previous Pokemon deck profiles, please check it out. I'll put a video at the end cards at the end of this video, as well as encourage those who watch my videos but haven't subscribed to please subscribe. Please support this channel by subscribing, hitting the notification button, whilst cracking that like button, as I always say. And if you guys want to see more videos or different types of videos, please comment them below. I like suggestions. The next few videos I'm going to be doing is, one is going to be a discussion video, and another one is going to be another Pokemon deck profile. Then I'm going to be also doing a Pokemon TCG live video demonstrating, because a lot of people, some people asked me about the the Cerulege Baneri Mega Lopunny list, and I'm going to show you guys how I would play, how I play it and how the deck functions, because I did make some minor adjustments post video when I was testing it around with some friends. So I will probably, the list will be slightly different, but I'll explain it when we get to that video. So without further ado, let's get on to the deck profile. So first we're going to explain the Mihawk leader. So what he does is, if your opponent's leader is a slash, gains plus 1k, so it becomes a base 6k against slash characters, which is one of the reasons why Zoro got dropped down, because Mihawk literally just essentially counters Zoro. Another ability it has is activate main. You may rest one of your cards, not characters, and if you control a 5 cost or more character, set 3 of your Dawn active, but you cannot play any characters. So the reason why you play that effect is to restand your Dawn, for either to try to go for tempo swings, or you're trying to restand them so that way you have enough for defensive counters. So that's kind of one of the reasons why you play it. I know there's various variants of Mihawk that I've seen. There's the slight supernova package with the Kid and Killer, which I'm not running. This is just a pure Mihawk list, but I am looking at testing a Wano package. I've seen some Wano builds floating around because of the consistency that the Wano engine gives, so I might show a deck profile of that variant, or an update of the deck when we get to when I get the pieces, because I'm still looking for some pieces for the Wano deck. So without further ado, let's get on to the deck profile. So we're going to start off with your main consistency engine, which is your Perona. So we play 4 copies of the Perona, which allows you to check so long as your leader is a slash, you get to check the top 5 for a slash character, and then put either the rest to the bottom of the deck in any order. Right now this is our only main consistency engine. I am looking towards the Wano package, because we do have access to other cards for consistency, making this deck a little bit more on the faster side, but we're only playing 4 of that. I'm gonna move it here. Then we play 4 copies of the new Kikunojo, which at the end, which is a 2k counter, and then it also has the ability to just restand it at the end of your turn. So this allows you to use the Kikunojo all the time to proc the Mihawk effect to restand 3 Dawn. So it's a viable Mihawk effect, viable utility for the Mihawk effect, sorry. And it also allows you to use it as a viable attacker if you need to, and it just restands, which is really nice. Next, we play 4 copies of the Koshiro blocker. The reason I'm playing this is because it's protection for slash, preventing them from being KO'd. which is important for the deck because you're like the deck is entirely slash focused. So being able to have a blocker that also protects your slash traits is really nice. And since we're playing a mono green deck, you got to play 4 copies of the TCG, which protects your green characters, and it's a 2K counter. And then our last 2K counter that I play in the deck is 4 copies of the Shimotsuki Kozaburo. It's just a really strong utility card, and I just use it for the 2K counter and the potential of showing one of my opponent's rested 1 cost or less characters while also resting a potential blocker. Now we jump to the 5 cost. So we play 4 copies of the OP14 Tashigi, which has the ability you may rest up to 2 cards, and in this gains plus 2K power until the end of your opponent's end phase. So it becomes an 8K body that you can just essentially like swing into, and then if this would be removed, you get to rest one of your other characters just to protect it. But you just mainly play it because it's a 6K vanilla that becomes an 8K with ease by just resting 2 of your cards. So we play 4 of her. We also play 4 copies of the 5-drop Prona, which has the ability on play up to 2 of your opponent's characters cannot with a 5 cost or less cannot be rested. So it prevents 6K 4 drops or 6K 5 drops, 5-drop or less characters from being able to be used against you. And if it were to be removed, you get to play up to 1 green character with a cost 5 or less from your hand. So it replaces itself. So you can essentially I think if I understand the ruling correctly, you could if they theoretically attack this and they still have remaining characters and you have another copy in your hand, you can play it and then proc and stop the other 2 characters from resting until the end of their next turn, or actually during the end of that turn. Actually, technically, if somebody knows the ruling on this, they can clarify, but it's another interesting interaction you could possibly do. Another interaction that you could do is looking at your other like your blockers that you play onto to replace it. So it's an interesting beat stick that replaces itself. Now we're going on to our 7 drops. So I play 4 copies of the 7 drops Shanks. So what this does is during my turn, if this card is rested, during my opponent's turn, if this card is rested, it gives all your opponent's characters minus 1K power, which is a really nice on the defense. Then on attack, and then during my turn, you can, if this becomes rested, I can rest up to one of my opponent's characters with a base power of 7K or less, which is really nice because there are certain blockers, like it stops you can rest blockers like the Chopper blocker, the Marco blocker, you can even rest the Yamato, that if you're trying to break their board. So you can basically rest any character, and then be with the Mihawk effect, you get to rest this, put restand 3 on, and then you get to rest another character, and then you can either attack into it to break the board, or you just simply like and you can play Carrot with this. This pairs well with Carrot, because if you have Carrot already on the board and then you rest this with the Mihawk ability, you rest the Shanks with the Mihawk, you get to not only rest an opponent's character, but you can freeze it with the Carrot, which I don't play in this list, but that's something I'm considering. You can freeze the Carrot, and then you freeze a character with the Carrot, and then you give all your opponent's characters get minus 1K on defense, which is really good, really strong. And then next, for 8 costs, I play 3 copies of the Mihawk blocker. I know you can play the 9 cost Mihawk, but I prefer this one because not only is it a blocker, but you can restand Fordon on play, and you can still play characters with a base cost of 7, like less than 7, like 6 or less. So if you play the Mihawk, you're able to still play, for example, the Koshiro blocker, and you essentially have a double blocking turn, and it's just a really good defensive character. So we play 3 of this, and then lastly for our characters, we play 4 copies of the 10 drop Law Beppo. This is one of the reasons why I'm kind of leaning towards playing the Supernova package, because you get to search the Law Beppo, and then you're also able to play cards like the law blocker, along with the other Supernova cards like the Apu Scratchman 2K counter, and among other things. So you have access to a lot of utility with that, with the Supernova package. So I am leaning towards that, because you just increase utility really nicely. So I'm still testing, and I'm still kind of in the drafting phase of this deck. And then continuing on with the event with the rest of the deck, we play 3 copies of the Strive to Surpass Me Zoro. It's just we play this just for the ability to it's a 4K counter, and if you trigger it, you get to rest one of your cards, and then rest one character with one of your opponent's characters with a base power of 7K or less. So you can essentially rest a blocker or a potential, or deny your opponent an attack by resting a 7K or less character if you trigger it. So that's one of the reasons why I play it. It's just a really strong it's a 4K counter, but it's also a really good resting option when you are going when you trigger it. Next, we play 4 copies of the Dead Man's Game. Pretty much a standard. It's a 3K counter with the ability rest 3 more Dawn, and get to rest either 2 of your opponent's characters or their Dawn, which is really nice because this deck likes to break boards before going for game, and being able to just rest anything is just really helpful. And then lastly, we play 4 copies of the Coffin Boat, and it's basically on playability is if your leader is the Dracule Mihawk, draw a card, and then at the end of your turn, if you have the Mihawk as a leader, restand 1 Dawn, which is really helpful. So I hope you guys like this rough draft. I will be doing an update and revisiting this deck in the later future, because I'm still trying to figure out the overall flow of this deck and the logistics behind it. So I may change this after doing more testing. So I hope you guys like just this rough draft. I wanted to get it out to you guys because OP14 just became legal last week, and I was waiting for the pieces to come in the mail. So I wanted to showcase at least a rough draft of what I've been playing post OP14. I am going to be doing an update on my green purple Luffy deck, as well as looking into doing a deck profile on my Emu deck, as well as looking at the other decks. I may do a Marco list in the near future. I'm still just testing out kind of what's existing in the meta. I feel like Marco might be okay, but well, as long as Emu's around, I think Marco kind of goes to the backs, like goes to the sidelines. But I'll probably do a deck profile on that after I do a little bit more testing. But the next One Piece video that I will be doing is probably going to be a simulator video where I look at other decks that I've been kind of messing around with. But I hope you guys, again, like this video. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe. Also crack that damn like button. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe. And stay on point, guys. Peace out.